Marriage is a social union, or legal contract, between two individuals that is usually recognized by the state, a religious authority, or both. In order to secure a civil marriage, one must follow the laws and procedures of the state or municipality where the ceremony will occur. The state of Alaska requires that the engaged couple file a joint application for a marriage license. So, we are going to watch about the how to apply for a marriage license in Alaska.
Method 1. Preparing to get your license. First is confirm your eligibility to marry.
You must be at least 16 years old to wed in Alaska. You also may not be legally married to any other individual at the time of application. And any prior divorces must be final. As of 2015, same-sex marriage is legal in all 50 states. Marriage between first cousins is permitted in Alaska, but not marriage between closer relatives, including parents or their siblings.
Step 2. Get parental consent.
Anyone between the ages of 16 and 18 planning to marry must receive parental consent. Those under 16 are not permitted to marry. Both parents will be required to sign a consent form, unless one parent is sole custodian. To verify that one parent is sole custodian, you should bring to the court a death certificate or a divorce decree that lists custody rights. A parental consent form can be acquired from the local court. A special exemption is granted to members of the armed forces, who are not required to get parental consent. Step 3. Plan to apply for the license not less than 3 business days before the wedding. It takes 3 business days to process the application. Therefore, it is important that you apply in advance so that this waiting period will expire and you will still have enough time remaining before the ceremony to pick up the license from the same courthouse at which you submitted the application. You should not, however, apply for your license too far in advance, because it will expire within 3 months. In some cases, where it is proven that undue hardship would be incurred if the issuance of the license is delayed until the end of the waiting period, a licensing officer might be willing to waive the requirement. Finally, plan a wedding in Alaska that will take place not more than 3 months after you apply for your license. Although you do not have to be a resident of Alaska to be married in the state, the license is only valid for weddings conducted within the state or in state waters. After 3 months, the license will expire. Therefore, it is important to have wedding plans settled before applying for the license.
Method 2. Applying for your license. First is secure the necessary information for the application.
The application will require basic information like your current name as listed on birth certificate, social security number, address, date of birth, and place of birth. If either party has been married previously, they will also need to supply information about these marriages. That includes the name of spouse, the date and location of the wedding, as well as the date and place at which the marriage was terminated, and the way in which it was terminated: death, divorce, dissolution, or annulment.
Step 2. Download and fill out the marriage license application.
Download the application here. Use blue or black ink to fill out form. One applicant should fill in the information designated for Party A, and the other should separately fill out information in the column designated for Party B. Be careful not to sign the form until you have been sworn in by a licensing officer. Step 3. Bring the application to the Bureau of Vital Statistics office or Alaska court closest to the site of the ceremony. Both parties must be present and carrying a legal photo ID that includes both their name and their date of birth. In addition to photo ID, you will also want to bring money to pay the $60 application fee in the application that you have filled out. Additional forms are necessary for minors and the recently divorced. You can find a list of courts with licensing officers here. The state recommends that you visit the one closest to the site of the wedding or whichever would be most convenient for picking up the completed license directly prior to the wedding. You must pick up the license from the same location that you submitted the application. The courts in Anchorage and Juneau do not accept marriage applications. Applications should instead be submitted to the local office of the Bureau of Vital Statistics. Both parties must be present and sober. If you are getting remarried and applying for a license less than 60 days after the termination of your last marriage, You should also bring a divorce decree to the licensing officer to confirm the completion of your divorce. Applicants under the age of 18 should bring a birth certificate certified within 30 days of the date of submission of the application.
Step 4. Pick up the marriage license after 3 days.
Contact the office ahead of time to verify that the application has been properly processed. Pick up the completed marriage license per specific instructions.
Finally, wed before an officiant and 2 witnesses.
After a ceremony at which the 2 parties have wed, the license should be signed by an officiant and 2 witnesses. The witnesses can be any 2 people of sound mind who were present at the wedding. The officiant should be a minister, priest, rabbi, judicial officer, or marriage commissioner. Return the license to the court and then request a marriage certificate online from the site of the Bureau of Vital Records.
We hope it is useful to you. Please subscribe to our channel to upskill yourself.